Ever get that feeling, that you're just kind of going through the motions? Like you're a passenger in your own life instead of the one behind the wheel? Well, today we're going to talk all about that. We're diving into something called agency, which is really just another way of talking about that feeling of being in control, of being the one writing your own story.
And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Losing agency, it's not like a light switch that just flips off. No, it's more like a slow leak. It's this gradual thing where one day you wake up and realize you feel more like a tenant in your own life than the actual owner. You're just there, following rules that you didn't even set.
So, let's get a bit more specific. What is agency, really? I love this idea of an internal citadel. Picture it like a fortress inside you, your own personal command center. It's the place where you make the calls. It's the belief deep down that your actions, your choices, they come from you, not from all the noise and pressure from the outside world.
All right, so if we're going to reclaim that citadel, first we've got to figure out if someone else has moved in. This first part is all about the diagnosis. How do you even know if you're losing your sense of agency?
So here's a gut check question for you, and be honest with yourself. Does your life feel like a path you're actively choosing, step by step? Or does it feel more like you're on a pre-laid track? Kind of like a train that can't turn, just following the route that was set by your job, or your routine, or what everyone else expects of you.
You know, one of the biggest clues is actually the language you use inside your own head. Just listen to your internal monologue for a day. Is it full of, I have to do this, I should do that? Because if it is, that's a huge red flag. It means you're seeing your life as a long list of obligations, not a series of choices you get to make.
And it's not just about language, right? This stuff shows up in other ways. That feeling of just drifting. Or maybe you feel this constant, low-level resentment because of all the demands on your time. Maybe you just feel kind of numb to it all. And what do? We escape, right? Mindless scrolling on our phones for hours. Or we put on a mask when we're around other people. The source puts it really well. Your will is like a muscle, and if you don't use it, it just gets weaker and weaker. It atrophies.
Okay, so for feeling this, where did our agency actually go? It's not like it just packs its bags and leaves one day. Nope, it gets worn down, eroded by what the source here calls occupying forces. And these forces, they attack from two sides, from the outside world and, believe it or not, from inside our own heads.
This chart breaks it down pretty clearly. You can see the big external chunks. Societal scripts, the supposed twos of life. Workplace pressures, and a massive one, digital hijacking, our attention being constantly pulled away. But what's really fascinating is the internal stuff. A big piece of the pie is our own beliefs that we've absorbed over time, and even a fear of being truly free.
Yeah, it's really like fighting a war on two fronts. From the outside, you've got society's narrow definition of success. You've got micromanagers at work. You've got algorithms literally designed to manipulate your attention. But then, on the internal front, you've got your own saboteurs, those little shoulds that got programmed into you as a kid, that feeling of learned helplessness, and that deep, nagging fear of failure or judgment, or just the scary, wide-open unknown. There's actually a great phrase for this. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard called it the dizziness of freedom. Think about standing at the edge of a cliff. The possibility of falling is terrifying, but so is the freedom to jump. That's what choosing your own life is like. It's this dizzying, kind of terrifying realization that it's all on you. And honestly, sometimes it just feels easier, safer to let someone else steer the ship, just to make the dizziness stop.
So, that's the diagnosis. A little bleak, maybe, but here's the good news, and it is really good news. You can absolutely fight back. You can rebuild that citadel, stone by stone. So let's talk about the plan. Let's get into the path to reclamation.
And it's not some big, complicated thing. It really breaks down into 3 simple stages. First, you just cultivate awareness. You just start noticing what's going on in your head without judging it. Second, you start to reclaim choice. You start to question all those automatic shoulds and have-tos. And third, you take action. You start doing little things, deliberate acts, to exercise that will muscle and make it strong again.
Let's dig into that first step. It's all about becoming a curious observer of your own mind. Think of yourself as a scientist. Things like journaling or even just a little mindfulness, they're like tools for mapping out your inner territory. Pretty soon, you start to see the patterns, the knee-jerk reactions, and that's where the magic is. In that little gap between something happening and you reacting, that's where your freedom, your power to choose, actually lives. And when it comes to taking action, we're not talking about quitting your job and moving to a new country tomorrow. No, it's all about what the source calls micro-choices. Tiny little things. Choose to walk a different way to work. Say no to a small request you don't want to do. Cook a simple meal instead of ordering out. Just finish one small thing you've been procrastinating on. See, every single one of those little acts, it's like a rep at the gym for your willpower. It's a vote for yourself, and it slowly but surely rebuilds that muscle.
And all of this brings us to the most powerful idea of all. If you think of your life as a story, reclaiming your agency is that moment you realize, hey, wait a minute, I'm the one holding the pet.
The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre had this amazing way of putting it. He basically said that you aren't a pre-made thing you have to go out and find. You are what you make of yourself. Your identity is built, piece by piece, by the choices you make and the things you do over and over again. You literally become the author of you by what you do.
But look, it's so important to remember this is not a one-and-done kind of deal. It's not a finish line you cross. It's a practice, a lifelong practice. You're going to have days where you slip up, where you fall back into autopilot. That's totally fine. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is just a conscious effort to keep picking up that pen every single day.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The story is yours. The page in front of you is blank. The pen is right there, in your hand. The only real question is, what's your next word?